What is up, everyone? Welcome to Talking Timepieces with Tony. I am Tony, and today is Friday, so we all know what that is. It's the Q&A. So, wearing my new Rolex OP 36 millimeter turquoise. Matches my shirt pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks cool. Love this watch. I'm so glad I got allocated this. I love it. It's just a great everyday, daily, classic, clean watch. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know, we do the Q&A every Friday. And if you would like to participate in the Q&A, then all you have to do is ask your question in the comment section below, and it'll be featured on an upcoming Q&A. And it's a lot of fun. We've been doing this for a couple years, and so yeah. So I'm not going to roll the intro, but let's just get right into it. This first one comes from Edmund Porter -JU8KD. Hope you continue to feel better. Thanks. For those of you who don't know, I was really sick, but I'm better. Thank you. I wonder what your thoughts are on Zenith Pilot compared to IWC Mark 20. I'm considering between them. Thank you for your videos. I enjoy them very much. Thank you. I am happy that you enjoy my videos. Well, I mean, they're very similar watches aesthetically, aren't they? They're both Pilot watches. Here's the Zenith Pilot, and then you've got, of course, the Mark 20. Now, the IWC Mark 20 is a nice watch. They've been around, I think, since about 1948 when they came out with the Pilot. I might be wrong, but I'm just going off the top of my head. The Mark 20 has a Valflorier movement in it. It's a 40 millimeter watch, and it has 120 hours power reserve. So it does have a lot of power reserve. They're owned by the Richemont Group, so they'll use their movements based off of what the Richemont Group has available, which would be the Valflorier. Reliable, great watch, love it. However, I will take the Zenith Pilot any day over the Mark 20. You've got a 60-hour power reserve, so it's half. The Valflorier, the Mark 20, runs at 28,800 VPH, whereas the Zenith Pilot runs off 5 hertz, 36,000 VPH. So, and of course, they're both 40 millimeter. I prefer the fact that the 3610 movement, which is the El Primero movement in the Pilot, there's so much history with the El Primero, and I don't know. I just don't think with that movement you just can't go wrong. I mean, it's just such a historical movement, and the watch looks cool. I love the aesthetics. The numerals are a bit bigger. It's really legible. I know the Mark 20 is pretty legible too, but I will take the Zenith any day. And appreciate your question, man. Next one comes from Metagirl. Hey Tony, saw this Piaget Polo in person today. The finishing didn't look any better to me than the Zenith Pilot. I'm wondering why this Piaget is around 5K more than the Pilot. The Pilot has a slightly longer power reserve, and I can't imagine Piaget's 111 OP movement is better than the El Primero. What am I missing? There's only a 2 millimeter difference in the case size. Piaget is 42 millimeter. Well, 42 millimeter as opposed to 40 is a big difference, if you're looking at the fact that it's a Piaget as well. Piaget are, they're like a jewelry brand, aren't they? And granted, I love the Polo. I think it's a nice looking watch, also very similar aesthetically to the Patek Philippe 5711. 5K more, you're looking at $7,800 for the Pilot, and I think you are getting a better watch with the Zenith, but of course you're getting that sort of brand. Piaget has a much, bigger brand recognition than Zenith certainly does. But yeah, it's and it really comes down to that, as far as it's not so much being a better watch. It's not $5,000 better than the Zenith. The Zenith is, for me, is a better watch than the Piaget, but it's really all about the name stamped on the dial at this point, isn't it? So that's where I'm at with that. And love your guys' opinion on that. If you want to leave your comments, thanks for your question, Metagirl. Next one comes from Lavita57. Hey Tony, hope is all well with you and yours. I feel you on being sick. Okay, my question: why don't you just go down to Hill Street and have your face on your Daytona? It's your watch. People think it's a great watch. You can't read the clearly Find a face that pops for you, and if you trade, sell, you have the original face. I know we don't like to change or treasures, but it's yours. Much love and respect. Take care. Okay, I get what you're saying. You're asking me about why not just go downtown LA and get a different dial for my Rolex Daytona that's legible. I don't know if you're new to the watch world altogether. And I appreciate your comment, man, and I appreciate you liking my videos, but that's absolute sacrilege to me. I wouldn't even trust anyone who would be willing to put some kind of aftermarket piece of shit dial on a freaking 126-500 LN Daytona. For one, you're voiding the warranty the minute that watch is opened up. Then you're putting some kind of aftermarket garbage in a very classy watch. And for people will know it's fake by the fact that you've got some shitty aftermarket dial on it. I'd never do that. I mean, it's to me it's sacrilege. I mean, granted, yeah, it's my watch. I can do whatever I want with it, but at the same time, I would never do anything like that. Not to a Daytona, and not to any of my watches. Might as well just buy a fake and then have a fake dial put in the fake watch. You know what I mean? But I appreciate your question, man. Next one comes from Raymond Marchena -QF9UK. What's up, Ramon? Or is it Ramon? Hey, Tony, was wondering what are your thoughts on the Longines Ultra-Chron with the stainless steel bracelet? Came across it the other day and fell in love with the retro look. I know Longines is somewhat underrated, but man, do they have great history. You're correct, they do. And I don't like the Ultra-Chron on the bracelet. I just, there's something about it that I don't really like, but I do like the carbon case. That's the one I would be interested in, but it's 43 millimeter. So it's a little too big for me. But, I think overall, I mean, if you like it on the bracelet, that's cool. It's not, Longines make great watches, man. So, but thanks for your question, dude. This next one comes from Emmanuel Rodriguez 50. Hey, Tony, how you doing, my friend? I'm good, thank you. How are you? I've seen so many of your videos that I consider you a friend. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Was the Daytona a disappointment for you? I tried one on the other day and I liked. It's hype justified. Is the hype justified? Was it a disappointment? I mean, I was super stoked when I got it. When I got called that said my Daytona came in, I was freaking like losing it. I was so excited. Excuse me. Even when I tried it on at Bindi, I was just stoked. I mean, I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But I was also wearing my reading glasses. And then by the time I got home and I was still wearing my reading glasses, I loved it. I wore it for about 3 or 4 days straight. And then once I started realizing that I couldn't read it without my reading glasses or with my regular glasses or when I was driving, yeah, it was a serious letdown. It was a serious disappointment. I thought, man, there's got to be other people that have that same problem with the Daytona, and Rolex could easily fix it by redesigning their hands. But unfortunately, yeah, it was a disappointment, but it's still a beautiful watch, man. I still love it. So thanks for your question, man. Next one comes from Michael Saraceno. Hey, Tony. Hey, Michael. I hope you're feeling better. And hope you're enjoying your new watch. Yes, I am. Thank you. I wanted to get your thoughts on how much having a non-silicone hairspring would impact your decision when buying a watch. Specifically, I'm looking at the Glasuta Original Panamatic Lunar. Geo confirmed that the caliber 9002 uses Inca block shock resistance, which is highly rated in the industry, but it has an anachron hairspring that is not anti-magnetic. Would this be a major concern for you? Also, what precautions would you recommend for daily wear, especially regarding exposure to common magnets in devices like cell phones, laptops? Thank you. Yeah, it doesn't bother me that much. I mean, you've got to be careful with that kind of thing. Putting your watch down next to, say, your tablet or next to a computer or next to your phone can magnetize, magnetize your watch, and then you have to get it demagnetized, right? But I'm not going to not buy a watch because of that. Coors Light. I mean, it doesn't have to be a silicone hairspring, I mean, you just have to be careful, be aware of your surroundings and your environment when you're wearing a watch. And I know it kind of sucks, you know, because there's, you know, once your watch is magnetized, it runs really fast. You'll know it's magnetized. And I've done it before. I had my Zenith was magnetized. And you know, that probably had a lot to do with either putting my watch down near my tablet or when I go to Warner Brothers to get coffee, going through the metal detector every time. So, yeah, you just have to be careful with them, man. But it wouldn't turn me off, no, because I think the Panamatic Lunar is Geo. I'd buy that watch. I love that watch. So, thanks for your question. I appreciate it. Next one comes from Charles Hartman. Hi, Tony. Can I have your thoughts on the Tudor GMT 41? Thanks for another great video. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Tudor make great watches, you know? I mean, overall, I've had several of them, and I've liked them. I've had problems with the bracelets fitting properly and whatever, but yeah, I mean, it's a good watch, you know? I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I've got the GMT, you know, Master 2 Rolex, so I wouldn't be buying the Tudor. I actually came close to buying it, actually, but you know, it's a nice watch. So yeah, thanks for your question, man. Hapkido Roy, let's go. Congratulations, my man. You've probably been asked this before. If you had to narrow it down to only one watch, which one and why? Also, it's Hapkido Roy. Hapkido is Korean martial art. I've studied it far too long to remember. Haha. Yeah, man. That's right, because I mispronounced your name before. I just didn't put the two together. But yeah, I know Hapkido. I did Shotokan for many, many years. But one watch. I mean, if it really came down to it, you know, a lot of people go, I just couldn't answer that. But you know what? The bottom line is if you had to only have one watch and that's it, something happened and you could only keep one watch, most likely I'd keep my Zenith Pilot. You know, it's one of those watches. It's a luxury watch. It's an everyday watch. It's kind of a beater watch. It can work in so many different scenarios. You know what I mean? You know, the Rolex Submariner 14060M would possibly be a close second, but because it's vintage or neo vintage, you know, I'd rather just have a watch like that's newer and a little bit more robust. Although the Rolex Submariner is very robust, but yeah, it would be between the Submariner and my Zenith Pilot. Most likely the Pilot, though. So thanks for your question, dude. Appreciate it. This one comes from Ariel.Fortele. Hello, Tony. I need your opinion on an aspect of the watch industry. I'd like to know what's your point of view on a certain situation in the watch industry. Companies like Jaeger or Jaeger-LeCoultre and many other continue to manufacture watches with large diameters such as 41, 42, 43. They have some very beautiful models, but it's obvious that the world don't want such large watches anymore. And yet they insist on large models. This is crazy. What is your opinion? Thank you. You are the best, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, some companies just make bigger watches. You know, they don't make them small enough. So it's like buying a dress watch that's over 40 millimeter. I think the perfect dress watch size is 38 to 39 millimeter. 40's pushing it a little bit, but when you start getting dress watches that are like 42 millimeters, 43 millimeters, and the same with a lot of these watches that are just they're too big. They're you know, they're meant for people with bigger wrists. I have a 6.5-inch wrist. You know, I guess the thing is, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? There's nothing, if you don't like a certain model because it's a bigger watch, you know, unless they narrow it or scale it down, what can you do, you know? But thanks for your question. Next one comes from Metagirl. Oh, Metagirl, second question. I've been listening to Def Leppard all day. You introduced me to Def Leppard when I was a kid. Metagirl is my little sister, by the way. Everything I know about rock, I learned from you. And I think the guitar shredding solo you used to have in the Q&A intro is one of the best solos I've heard. Thanks. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thanks for answering my question. Which BC would you want in place of the Patrimony you sold? I hope you feel better soon. Yeah, well, I'm glad you're listening to Def Leppard. You know, I like their older stuff, on Through the Night and Pyromania. I didn't like anything after that. And I appreciate the guitar stuff. You know, as long as you've known me, I've been playing guitar, right? As far as the Vacheron Constantin, I would get the Traditional Tourbillon Platinum. I think that watch is just stunning, man. I mean, it's way out of my price range, but you know, we can all dream, right? But I think that would be the watch I would pick up. And thanks for your question. David Parrish Productions. What's up, David? Hope you're doing better, man. What is the most disappointing watch you've ever owned? Peace, my brother. If you're talking about like maybe say in my luxury segment, not just other watches, I'd have to say the Breitling Top Time Triumph. It looked beautiful. It's a beautiful watch, man. Ice blue dial, chronograph. The Valjoux 7750 movement was loud and obnoxious, but that's what Valjoux 7750s do. It for some reason I just didn't bond with it. I was really bummed that I bought it, and I took a heavy hit on it when I sold it. But you know, I think it was probably the Top Time Breitling. Yeah, I mean, there's probably been others that I just can't think of them right now. But thanks a lot, man. I always appreciate your questions. This one comes from ADRBTS. Hi, Tony. What are your thoughts on the brown dial now? Does it still get a good amount of wrist time? I'm thinking of getting one, but I'm afraid of ending up regretting after some time. By the way, thanks for the video. Great content. Talking about my Cartier Santos large brown dial. No, I got rid of it. No, I love the watch and I love the Santos, man. But it's just that, you know, you look at it the wrong way and it scratches. It's crazy. But I don't know, and I keep buying them for some reason. But it's a beautiful watch, man. There's nothing to regret. But if I'm gonna buy another one, it would be the opaline silver, the standard Santos, man. Can't go wrong with that. Never get sick of it. Thanks for your question, man. Q&A for next week. This comes from Jamie Garg, G-A-R-G. What would you choose for a one watch collection up to $40,000 maximum, or $40,000 maximum size, 40 millimeter? One watch up to $40,000. Vacheron Constantin 222 in steel, 37 millimeters, $33,000. I just think that would be a great everyday watch, you know, in any freaking scenario. Casual, jeans, t-shirt, suit and tie, if that's where you're going with that. Everything about that watch is just screams elegance, man. The 222 is what I would take. Thanks, man. Stuntman Johnny. Hey, Stuntman Johnny. Hey, Tony, loving the channel and the Q&A. I really enjoy your candid style. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I eagerly await your Friday videos. Question: as we get older, our tastes will sometimes change. Is there a watch that you greatly coveted in your earlier years, but now would not be caught dead wearing? Just an FYI. I tried checking my diction several times on this post. Thanks, sir. I appreciate that. No, I don't know about being caught dead in it. You know, there's a couple of Breitlings probably wouldn't have. Panerai maybe. And I would almost say something like Raymond Weil that I had that I wouldn't ever wear again. But I think Raymond Weil are doing some good things. My Movado museum piece, something I wouldn't probably wear. I mean, I still wear it very occasionally, but that's just through nostalgia reasons. But no, I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I have got a U-boat, about 50 millimeter piece of garbage, man. When those came out, they were hyped up. Schwarzenegger was wearing them. Stallone was wearing them. All the Hollywood elites were wearing them, and they're garbage. And I still have one. I initially had two, and I sold one a long time ago, but I still have this U-boat IFO left hook. That's a watch I won't wear. So there you go. Thanks, man. All right, next one. Gospizana. Hi, Tony. Thank you for your video. Keep on keeping it real. I'm going to be taking a trip abroad soon and want to commemorate it by buying a watch during the trip. I've read that I would have to declare the watch when coming back into the U.S. and would most likely need to pay import taxes. Have you had experience with this? Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a possibility, you know, depending on the watch. And yeah, you would have to declare it if it's over $10,000. But you know, you might be able to get away with it, but you most likely are going to have to pay tax on it. But, you know, wish you the best on that one, man. Hope you find something you like. It might be worth it paying the tax, depending on what kind of deal you get on the watch. You know what I mean? Stuntman Johnny, what's up? Didn't you just ask me one? Will an AD shop size a Rolex that wasn't purchased through Rolex? Like if you bought it on the gray market and wanted to get it sized, would they size it for you at a cost? Yes, they would, of course. Yeah, just take it to Rolex and ask them to size it. You don't have to buy it from them. So, and they'll size it for you. But thanks, man. Appreciate it. Kavork, this is Kavork Norian 5442. Hi, Tony. Love your channel. My favorite channel. Please, and thank you for that. Appreciate it. Between two brands, Longines, Baume, and Mercier, or Baume et Mercier, what's your favorite between the two? Thank you. I would have to say the Longines Heritage Tuxedo in 40 millimeter, the chronograph. That's a sick watch, man. Definitely has a Patek Philippe sort of look to it. I think overall, it's aesthetically, it's beautiful. Did I say it's 40 millimeters? It would fit really nice on the wrist. Really like that watch. Excuse me. But for Baume et Mercier, they have the Clifton with the moon phase and date, kind of a silvery sunray dial. I think that's beautiful too, man. But I think if I was going to pick one or the other, I would definitely go with the Longines. So, all right, you guys. Oh, I had one more. Sean Miller, 7187. Sorry, man. If you were in charge of picking out watches for supervillains of our childhood, what watches would you pick for? Cobra Commander, Skeletor, Lex Luthor, the Joker, Darth Vader, Mr. Burns. Cobra Commander, don't know who that is. Skeletor, yeah, it was a cartoon, wasn't it? Lex Luthor, the Joker, I wouldn't know, man. I don't know. Cobra Commander, wouldn't know. Skeletor, I don't. Maybe a skeleton watch, you know, like an RM, Richard Mille. Lex Luthor, I don't know who that is. The Joker, probably a Casio G-Shock. Darth Vader, probably another Richard Mille. Mr. Burns, an old Patek Philippe pocket watch. And on that note, you guys, I really appreciate it. You have a great rest of your evening, day.